Got my notes, got my camera on. Yeah, the camera's on. Bed made, finally. All right, let's do this. Hey everybody, it's me again, Jessie, with a new setup. I hope this is not the permanent setup until I get a bigger space. We're just gonna have to deal with the room setting for now. I got a new tripod. It's one of those desk ones, so it's on my desk. And I set up the lighting to how I think I like it. I'm not sure yet. And I actually put on some makeup to like not scare you guys a little bit while I talk about what I'm talking about. Obviously I can't do anything about these, so I don't like them just as much as y'all probably do, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Today is going to be another video on my little series that I want to kind of put into place, implement. In the process of me being in ultrasound school, the one thing that I've noticed is that the world of ultrasound is very small. There's not a lot of videos as to what to expect and how to deal with things you're going through, because other than your class and maybe, you know, some people you might know in the field, there isn't like really a big base. Well, now it's growing. I've seen that the base now is growing when it comes to like YouTube channels, some social media. I follow a couple pages about girls in the field, which I think is awesome. Like I really think we need to like band together and help out other people wanting to join the field. So I want to like implement a kind of series here all about Q&As and what to expect in the ultrasound field, what to expect in getting into the program, because that's I would say one of the biggest steps. So today's video is going to be, as you see in the title, taking and passing the ARRT Sonography Exam. So this isn't something that everybody going into the field has to go through, but it is a very big thing for those who have to go through it. And I was going through this experience, I did notice that there were like no videos about it, and I can understand why. All right, see, taking the ARRT is basically like you are giving yourself to these people in terms of what you can and can't talk about. They have you sign an NDA before even taking the exam, you know, stating that you're not going to talk about any topics, questions, answers, anything like that. So just to be on the safe side, because I worked way too hard for this certification, I'm just going to stray away from the contents of the test, but I am going to help you guys prepare for the test. Because to be honest, I'm not gonna risk this for nobody. So here's a disclaimer. I'm not going to be talking about the topics, the questions, just preparation, like I said. So I'm going to split this video into 3 very detailed parts. So I made sure to jot down notes on every single thing I went through to get to this point that I'm at now. So these 2 kind of topics are going to be studying, the process, and then the steps after. So the first part of this video, studying. So one of the most important things to me about studying is actually getting to know how the exam is. And let me just put out there, I have to put out there that I did fail this exam once. Yeah, that was it was a humbling point for me. I feel like I'm the type of person who, when I take exams, I'm not saying I don't study, because I do take exams very seriously, especially if it has to do with the board exams, but I am that person who always passes on the first try. And I didn't want to let this make me cocky, but at the same time, I don't feel like I prepared as much as I should have the first time. The thing is about the ARRT is it's everything in one. It's not like you have the specialties like you have in ARDMS. That's a difference. The ARRT is designed to just take it one time, pass it, and you're done. So it has everything from abdomen, OB, procedures, superficial structures, physics or like the instrumentation, it has the patient care, and it also has a part on the code of ethics and ARRT in general. So basically ARRT consists of possibly a broad spectrum of everything you've learned in the past 2 years, year and a half, however much your program was. When I learned this, I basically just kind of assumed, oh, okay, let me just study what I might have forgotten or things that I haven't learned recently because I felt like maybe I forgot it. Or, I basically studied physics because I felt like I forgot some of the concepts of physics, and I don't even know why I didn't. I didn't study much. Well, I did study, but not as much as I should have. Things like abdomen, OB, and stuff like that. And that was because, I will admit, because I was feeling a little bit like I could pass. The truth was because I did not know how the exam was. So a very important concept for me and a very big learning point for me is knowing how the exam is comprised or what it consists of or how things are worded, which you're never really gonna know because, like I said, they tight seal the exam and nobody can talk about it. So you basically just have to learn how things are worded. You have to study everything, you have to basically understand it. So that's one thing, knowing how the exam is broken down. Even though you don't know how the exam is broken down, and I'm not going to tell you because, again, I'm not risking it, you have to prepare yourself basically for the worst. Basically, you have to just know everything upside down and inside out. You have to make sure you not only know the concepts and definitions, you have to make sure you understand what's going on. You have to know more of the practical stuff, because if you think about it, the field isn't about memorizing definitions and knowing what something looks like. It's knowing how to apply yourself into what you see. That's basically the field of ultrasound. You see something, you got to make sure that you understand, like pathology, like where it comes from, what it pertains to, what organ, how it can affect the organ, things like that. Don't focus so much on knowing the definitions. Make sure that you understand the concepts. Make sure that you understand what you're looking at, what you're reading. If you study one way, make sure you also study it backwards. If you know like what a pathology is, know also how it can affect an organ, or know what could happen if somebody has it, like, because if the test throws at you, and not even just this test, it could be any test in general, throws at you a question that you've never seen its format before or how it's worded, but you know what it's asking about, you can do the process of elimination right there, even though you don't know what the heck it's talking about. If you know the content and the key words and you know what they mean and what they do, and it's just easier for you to get the right answer. Also, just make sure, like I said, you study everything. Like, I'm talking everything. Even if you think you don't need it, even if your professor only touched on it once, you better study everything and make sure you have the time to study and comprehend everything. Just do it in the way you know best. Just do it in the way that helps you. Some people use flashcards, some people write down definitions and things like that. So my biggest breakthrough and what I feel like helped me the most my second time around is this book. We call it the Red Penny book. I'm not sure if you guys have it or what you guys call it, but this examination review for ultrasound, the one that focuses on abdomen and OBGYN. This is really going to help you if you study like me. What I did was, I don't use flashcards. I don't use brain maps or things like that. Like I said, I'm not one to, on regular tests, to study as much. But when I do study, I use colors. This is what I do. I make sure that I format everything in a way that I can understand when I look back at it. So for physics, I use the Understanding Ultrasound Physics book. This is very, very good if your school hasn't provided it for you or anything like that. This is very good with burning down all the fluff and making sure that you have what exactly you need to study. So just putting that out there. Here's another thing. When you're studying and you're reading through, if you're like me, one thing that really helped me is to start on a chapter. This I got from, I forgot who I got it from. I got it from a girl that I was watching her YouTube channel, and she posted about how to study for your registries, and she mentioned reading through the book. So let's say there's a chapter on the liver, there's a chapter on kidneys, and then there's a chapter on the gallbladder. When you're reading through, make sure you just read the chapter straight through. Like, even if you don't remember or understand what it is, just read through it. Don't try to make notes, don't try to stop, do anything like that. Just read the first chapter one day, and then you go back and you write down your notes and things, you know, important stuff. Like for me, my chapter 1 was abdomen, so then I was like specify like a simple cyst and things like that. Anything that I feel like I needed to remember. So then when you're done, you did that, you're done with that chapter. So then you go into the next chapter. Depending on how long the chapters are, you might want to do one a day, or however many you feel like you can do. Also, don't try to stress yourself out by like cramming too much into your head at one time. Like this takes time. This isn't a last ditch effort. Like studying is a process. So when you're done reading through and then going back and then detailing and highlighting and doing what you want to do to make sure you get into your head, go to the second chapter, read through, do the same thing, read through, go back, write down everything you need, highlight, flashcards, everything like that, and then go back to the first chapter and do it again. Well, maybe you don't have to at least read through it again and then read through your notes. And then the next day, when you're on your third chapter, do that, then go back to your first, second chapters, and then so on and so forth. It may seem like something that's gonna take too long, but I promise you, so that you don't end up like me and fail by 1 point. All right, let me tell you guys, because I totally forgot to mention this. I failed the ARRT by 1 point. It wasn't necessarily 1 point, but like the overall score. I'm gonna talk about scoring in a minute, but 1 point. It was devastating. Anyways, just make sure you know. Just make sure you know. If you know, you know. Okay. So about scoring, this I can talk about because it's on the ARRT website, but I'm just gonna break it down and basically ARRT scores for dummies, because the way they explain it took me a minute. So the ARRT isn't scored in like percentages, like you get like a 60% or anything like that. It's scored from 1 to 99, or is it 0 to 99? Anyways, up to 99. And the overall score you need is a 75. Now, unlike other modalities, sonography specifically requires that one overall score of 75, and also the abdomen and OBGYN section have to be above a 7.5. Now the sections are scored from, I think it's like 0.1 to 9.9. So in those sections individually you need 7.5 in each, plus the 75 overall to pass. I think the first time I took it, I think when I failed the first time, I had the 74. I had the 74 overall score, and then I think I got like a 6.8 in abdomen, and then like a 7.1 in OB, or I think it's flipped around. No, I did worse in OB. So I got the 7.1 in abdomen, and then I got the 6.6 in OB. My second time around, I got an 81. Yeah, so I got an 81 in the total test scaled score. I got a 7.9 in abdomen, and in OB I got an 8.2, and that's because I went in on OB when I was studying for the second time, because I'm like, I'm not going to fail that again. Like, because even if you pass the overall score, if you don't get that 7.5, well, I don't know how specific they are, but I believe even if you get the 75 in overall, you need all three. It's not like, oh, well, we can give you that no. They don't care. Even my mom was telling me when I got the 74, she was like, well, maybe because of COVID they'll have like, sympathy on you and give you that point. Nah. All right, so we're done with the study section. So the second part of this video is the process. When you're getting ready to take the ARRT, chances are you're close to graduating or already graduated, or you're in clinicals and just getting ready to just jump into the next step. So the first thing you're gonna do, if I remember correctly, when you register into the website, make sure you can get in correctly. Make sure you write down your username and password. Put it somewhere where you're never ever gonna lose it, because even after you pass your exam and all that, you still need to get into the website for your CMEs and things like that. So make sure you register correctly with your correct government issued name, and that's important even for ARDMS and basically everything about just the career in general and getting into the career. Is you make sure that everything is spelled correctly. Your middle name, make sure all of that is good on your name. In my case, we had to use the Pearson test centers. I believe it's like that for just in general. When you're logging in to schedule your exam, let me see if I remember. Because when I took the SPI back in August, we registered with our ARDMS number. But this time, when we were going in for ARRT, we had to register in Pearson separately with our ARRT number. So depending on, I think your school will probably figure that out for you. But just make sure that you're able to get into both the ARRT website and your Pearson correctly. So when you're uploading all your documentation, or when your school is uploading the documentation or your application to take the exam, again, make sure, this is so important, make sure your name matches like spot on 100%. I don't even have a middle name, and I still read over my ID and over the documents on the website to make sure that every letter was correct. But just make sure that everything's right, every comma, every hyphen, every apostrophe, if your name somehow has an apostrophe in it, everything like that. So what you're gonna do when you're in the process of scheduling your exam, make sure that you're scheduled with plenty of time to study. Now, we already went through everything you have to study, so you're gonna know. Your school's probably gonna explain to you that just don't lose sight, even when you're in clinicals, just don't lose sight of all your study books and things like that. So while you're in clinicals, you're probably gonna have your books with you to study. I hope you have your books with you to study, because even though you're hands-on, you still gotta make sure you understand and just prepare just for that big day and for other big days ahead, which I will also explain. So when you're scheduling your exam, make sure that all your other duties, work, in my case church, family time with your friends, social life, which you're probably not even gonna have enough of anyway, because you're in the ultrasound program. Just make sure that all those duties, like surrounding the time, make sure that they're scheduled or divided or allotted in times that are gonna benefit you when it comes to studying and the day of. If possible, take the day before off, because that's what I did, and it helped me a ton. Like, seriously. Even if it's just a day to just relax and not even look at your phone or not even look at anything, just, go over it. Don't cram. That's what I'm gonna say. Do not cram the day before or the night before, because I promise you that it's But just have the day before off so that you can mentally prepare yourself and get everything ready that you need to get ready, which I will also talk about in just a second. So make sure that you're allotting all your time and all your duties wisely. This is what I mean. My second time taking the exam, all the free time I had was dedicated to studying. I disabled all my social media to not get distracted during the day. And my friends, they understood that I had to, study and stuff like that. And like, they still wanted to hang out and stuff like that. Like, you have to make sure that you are very disciplined when it comes to, no, like, I have to study. Like, I'm sorry, we can hang out after, after I pass. We can celebrate all we want after I pass. But beforehand, don't let yourself get pulled into the socialness, because I know. But it's gonna be real worth it when you pass. Anyways, a tip that I want to just kind of put out there: when you're picking the site that you want for your exam, make sure that you check all the sites around you. Okay, so in my case, the first time I took my exam, it was kind of easy to get dates because they weren't all like taken. So I took my first test April 13th. I think right after school ended, which was April 4th. That was like a week and some change that I was able to, you know, study and all of that. After I realized how much time it really took and what to expect and what to prepare for, I was like, I need a little bit more time, but not so much that I forget, you know, while it's still fresh in my mind, I want to take it again. So that was April. When you fail, it takes about a week to get the paper, and boy, I gotta tell you, did I say when you fail? I am so sorry if you fail. I'm not gonna put that on anybody, but if in the case, God forbid, you fail, they send you a letter, which I don't have with me because I probably forgot about it because it was depressing. I took it that Tuesday. The next Monday, it came in the mail for me. And then when I opened it, first of all, the first thing I saw was in bold letters, notice to failing candidates. So it was like, gee, thanks for confirming that, you know? And it shows you, you know, everything that you got, your overall score and all the sections, what you got on each section. So it took a week for that. And then I was able to reapply. So when I reapplied, they didn't have anything until June, which right now I'm recording this and it's June 1st. The soonest that I was able to reschedule my exam was June 16th. So I have some job offers, but, you know, obviously I need to be registered to be able to work for them. I did express that I still needed to pass my ARRT and then my ARDMS. And what she told me, or what she advised me, was to try to keep checking in, you know, to see if they can, like, if something opened so that I could reschedule. And I was like, that's actually a good idea. So what you want to do, if you can't find anything that's like close by, just schedule what you have available. And then as the day goes by, keep studying, because you never know when it's going to, you know, something's going to pop up. It could pop up for tomorrow, but if you're ready, you're ready, you know. What I did was every day I would go back into the website and I would check to see if they had any available days, like if somebody else canceled and they had that spot open. And I kept doing that until I was able to find one for May 15th. That's almost a month after failing. I was able to, I clicked on that real quick. And even though like I still had to make a sacrifice because this exam was at 7:30 a.m. And something I forgot to mention, the exam is 7 hours long. Yeah. So it's 7 hours long, you have a 30-minute break, and they want you to get there 30 minutes beforehand. Just a little side tip out there. Just make sure that you can get something kind of quickly so that, you know, you don't spend too much time just pouring over, you know, stuff like that. Like, make sure you have enough time. It's not too far and it's not too close. That's it. So the night before, prepare your snacks. You can bring snacks. Bring your water, or prepare your water. Just put everything together. Your IDs, you need 2 IDs. You need 2 government issued IDs with your name that matches, you know, like I said. One that has your photo on it, and then one just any government issued one. I use my driver's license and my social security card. So prepare all that, put in your bag the night before, and also check your GPS if it's somewhere that you've never been before and you don't know how far it is, just to make sure that you kind of have an idea of what time you have to leave. And even the morning of, check the GPS just in case there's any traffic. So stay calm, arrive early, eat your breakfast, eat your brekkie, use the bathroom beforehand, because trust me, you're gonna want to. Leave any devices in your car. If you don't leave your devices in your car and you bring it in with you, and you accidentally have it in your pocket and they tell you to put it in your bag or whatever, they're not gonna let you even access your snacks. If you have all your stuff in a locker and you go during your break to get your snacks or whatever, if you have a device in there and they know you have a device in there, they could forfeit your entire exam. So just don't even risk it. Leave it in your car. Just do all that. Lock your car. Only bring in your necessary items. So I've had two different instances happen to me. My first time taking the exam, I was at a Pearson temporary center. So it wasn't like an actual center, so everything was kind of like limited. They didn't have lockers for us. They had these black backpacks that you put your stuff in, and if you bring too much stuff, obviously it's not all gonna fit. So you put your stuff in a backpack, they lock it, all of that. My second time I actually had a locker, so that one's a little bit better. But only bring what's necessary, because if you bring extra stuff, it's just it's just gonna be a bother for you. You're not even gonna use the stuff. All right, so just bring what you need to bring. What to expect when entering your exam. All right, so it's basically like a very prestigious security check. They're gonna scan your palm. You gotta empty your pockets. They're gonna check your sleeves. My first time, like, I was wearing like a sweater, so they had me like roll up my sleeves. If you have thick hair like me, they're gonna check your hair. All right, see, my second time taking the exam, I had my hair in a bun, like right here, like a top knot thing, and the lady had me take my hair and like bring it back, take the bun and like bring it back, bring it forward, and then split it down the middle, just to make sure I didn't have any cheating objects in my hair, which is funny to me. Anyways, so they check everything. They even had me check my glasses. Usually I wear glasses, and they tell you to take off your glasses, put it on a rotating thingy, and then they're just gonna check it and be like, okay, give it back to you, whatever. When you're actually in the exam, remember to pace yourself during the exam, in your breaks and reviewing. The exam is split into 2 sections. First section is longer than the second. Make sure you pace yourself so that you're not spending too much time just like looking at each question. If you know the answer, just answer it and go. For some of them that maybe you need to make an educated guess, like take your time, but like don't take your time. Just make sure you're pacing yourself. Even if you, I don't know, speed through it or whatever, when you're reviewing, make sure you're always looking at the little clock in the corner. Just making sure. You get a 30-minute break in between the 2 sections. You don't have to take the whole break, which I didn't. I just went to the bathroom, made some snacks, and just took a breather because I could not breathe in my mask the whole time, which you have to keep on. For reviewing, try not to second guess yourself. That's a problem that I have, and I always end up having the answer right the first time, and it's so frustrating. Unless you have 100% concrete evidence that the second answer that you changed to is the correct answer, don't even do it. Don't even do it. Don't even do it. When you're done with each section, submit with confidence. Press the little submit. Just press it and be confident about it. You know what you know. What you don't know, God will help you. And this is something about me. I am a person of faith, very, very faithful in God. Before even leaving my house, me and my mom prayed. On the way there, I was listening to like worship songs, trying to keep myself calm. Getting there, I was reciting Psalm 23, which helps me a lot. Before starting the exam, I did a little prayer, and then before submitting each time, I said a little prayer as well. So if you're not a person of faith, just have confidence. So after you're done with the exam and you submitted everything, it's going to give you your preliminary score. Now, the preliminary score is your before score, I guess. It's going to reiterate to you that it's not your official score and that it is subject to change. You have to wait for the actual thing in the mail to come in. When I checked on the website my first time when I failed, I was like, so how many times, do they actually give the point, or do they actually take away? Which I actually learned, I don't think they ever really take away points. They only add points, but don't quote me on that. And for the most part, it seems like it's very rare that they'll change your score or like remove a question or anything like that. But I guess to be sure, they tell you that that's not your official score. Wait for your results to come in, and then that's your official score. So like I said, they're gonna have the overall score, and then under it, it's gonna have your scores for the abdomen and the OB section. So that's your preliminary score. Just have it in your head, and don't get bummed too much by it if you do fail, because like I said, it's only gonna teach you how at least for me, it's gonna teach you how the exam is and what to expect for the second time around. My really only thing being bummed was that first, I've never failed an exam that big before, and second, that I really did not want to pay the $175, how much was it? $175 it took to retake it. My school paid for my first time. I had to pay for my second time. I really did not want to pay it, but learning lesson. You had to pay for what your actions or whatever. When you're through all that, you're just gonna have to go through the agony of waiting for your actual packet to come in, which I told you was this. If you pass, and hopefully when you pass, this is what they give you. It's a little folder. It comes with your certificate, with your name and your number and things like that. It's gonna come with your score report with everything that they tested you on and what you passed on. Your guide to maintaining certification and registration, which is your next steps, and when you have to do your renewals and stuff. I haven't even read through this yet. They give you like a little letter and it's like, congrats for passing. Basically it's a whole bunch of congrats and here's what to do next. So the third part of this video is your next steps. So after you pass the ARRT, it's assumed that you even took the ARRT in the first place because your school is not accredited yet. And in the case of my school, I believe after the first cohort, which is what we call her, after the first graduating class passes the ARRT or just passes in general, the school gets the certification or the credential. Credential. Yeah, that. Like, your school becomes accredited. If your school's not accredited yet, that's the chances that you're gonna have to take the ARRT and take one for the team. After you pass that, you're gonna let your instructor know, or your professor, whatever you want to call him or her, let them know that you passed. Yay. What they're gonna do is they're gonna sign you up for the ARDMS. So then that's when you take those exams, the abdomen registry and the OBGYN registry. I believe OBGYN is first because that's what my professor signed me up for first. When you apply for the ARDMS, you have to upload documents such as your CV for your clinicals, your ID, and then also the certification that you passed the prerequisite, which in your case or my case or our case would be the ARRT certification that you passed. So you're gonna have to upload that. What I did is I uploaded a picture of the certificate that I showed you guys. Hopefully they take that because they still haven't looked through my application yet.
Hi, hello, yes, Gessi from the future. I know I sound disgusting right now, but it's okay. So right now it is June 8th, and I wanted to let you guys know that they did accept my application. So that certificate is an acceptable document to use. So I take my ARDMS OBGYN exam soon, so that's great. All right, carry on.
So that's up to the part where I'm at. I kind of just took this time to talk about the ARRT part, and then soon I will upload, God willing, the ARDMS part. I don't think I forgot anything. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully I cleared up some questions for some nervous people who don't know what to expect, because I really I didn't go through it blind, but obviously it's a new experience and you never know 100% what to expect. So hopefully I hope you understand a little bit more about what's going on. Sorry if this video is all over the place. I try to take notes because I do kind of ramble on. I'm gonna edit it down to where I'm not so annoying. But right now I am at 45 minutes, so I think it's time to close out. Do all the like, comment if you have any questions, subscribe because there will be more ultrasound videos where that came from, because I just can't leave the society hanging. Hopefully you guys pass with flying colors, and hopefully I helped out in some way. Not that I want to take the glory for me, but hopefully I helped out. That's all I want, is to help out. Even if I help one person pass the exam, that's it for me. That's it. Like, I'm happy. All right, well, bye.